Hello and welcome. You're watching First Stick here on News 9, where we bring to you the morning buzz on the Lal Street. I'm Suyash Maheshwari, and with me in the studio, as always, is Amit Ranjan. And it's a Thursday morning and the final trading session of the week. Remember, tomorrow the markets are shut on account of Good Friday. And we are not just wrapping up the week, but we are also bidding farewell to fiscal 2024. And what a year it has been for Indian markets. I mean, Nifty has surged almost 30%, in fact over 30%, and despite a bit of a rough patch for the broader markets in March, I mean they have been on fire this fiscal. The mid-cap index is up a whopping 63% and the small-cap index an incredible 75%. Now let's get back to today's action because we have a bunch of cues lined up, but before that let's look at Nifty because we have opened in the green and Nifty has closed above, in fact, moved above the 22,200 mark as we speak. And speaking of the cues, because there is a lot on the radar, today is the monthly expiry for Nifty F&O contracts. There is also the semi-annual reject for Nifty happening today. Shriram Finance will be stepping in to replace UPL in the Nifty index. Plus, we are also launching the pilot of the T+0 stock settlement cycle with 25 stocks today, which by the way will make it the fastest settlement cycle in the world. And speaking of the world and the global peers, let's talk about the global cues because Amit, the Wall Street after 3-day skid is back in the green, and it's not just back in the green, it's back at record high.
And it is Dow Jones. It is just 1% shy of 40,000, that elusive mark. It has outperformed the other indices on the back of General Electric, Apple and Tesla. Nvidia is still down, closed in the positive at 1.22%. That was the Dow Jones. S&P 500 closed in the positive at 0.86%. Nasdaq in the positive at 0.5%. Coming to the European markets, the Stock 600 was also in the green, closing in the positive at 0.13%. Hang Seng this morning is up 1.57%. But the story is again the yen. The yen hit a 34-year low yesterday, but the Nikkei rallied yesterday in anticipation that the government will step in to make some corrections. But that did not happen, and Nikkei is in the red by as much as 1.22% this morning.
All right, and speaking of Indian markets as well, I mean, a brilliant start to the day. It's the final trading session of this particular fiscal, and Nifty, Amit, has finally able to move past the 22,200 levels. It has struggled with it in the last couple of weeks, and 20-day moving average, which was placed around the 22,150 mark, has been conquered. Again, we have struggled with that range of about 400 and 450 points that Nifty was seeing, but we have finally moved past it. And it's not just Nifty that is doing well. The broader markets, they are also on a phenomenal run. Remember, at the start of March, we were talking about a meltdown that was taking place in the broader markets. Both indices, the small cap and the mid cap indices, had corrected significantly from their respective highs. They have recovered now, and they have recovered at least, I mean, almost half of what was lost in that 2-week correction. Let's look at Nifty small cap and mid cap particularly because phenomenal performance again in FY24, as you can see on your screen. Nifty did amazingly well. It was up over 30%, but look at how the broader markets fared. Mid cap index was up 63%, the small cap index was up over 75%. So a phenomenal year for the broader markets. But despite that mutedness we were seeing in March, they are just about the small cap index is currently about 8% shy of its record high, and the mid cap index is about 3.8% shy of its respective high as well. And Nifty, by the way, is also just about 1.5% shy of its all-time high level. So a very good setup overall, and certain levels have been broken in this surge that we are seeing today. For instance, Nifty Bank, remember Nifty Bank had been struggling with 47,000 for the longest of time, in fact since mid-March of this year, but that has been conquered. In fact, Nifty Bank opened about 0.5% higher. It's currently about 0.75% higher. It has in fact even moved above the 47,100 level, and most sectors today are trading in the green barring Nifty Realty, which is seeing some bit of a price pressure. And the Nifty Realty index, don't look at today's correction. because the Nifty Realty Index has been on a tear, and we'll talk about it more in just a while from now. But overall, the setup is looking rather bullish. Your big heavyweight sectors are also performing. The bank index, Nifty banking index is performing, and the large cohort of private banks are also participating in this upside. HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, SBI, to name a few. And IT stocks, they are back in the green. Remember, last week they witnessed a tremendous sell-off after Accenture cut its revenue guidance, and that took a toll on the heavyweight IT stocks as well. But we are seeing some bit of recovery taking place this morning in the IT pack as well. And let's talk about FMCG also, because that was a pocket of the market that has been under pressure. Rural demand has been a big overhang for the sector and for the earnings, although the companies because they have been able to expand their profit margins, given that raw material prices have come down and the companies were able to achieve operational efficiencies. But because of that rural demand, volume growth has been sluggish. And remember, we are drawing curtains on FY24. What comes next is the quarterly results, the fourth quarter results of India Inc. that will start trickling in a couple of weeks from now. So I am keeping an eye out on FMCG. So far we have seen that volume growth has been a pain point for the pack on the whole, but maybe this time around we would see some sort of a turnaround. That's what at least the experts that we have been speaking to have been hinting. But let's look at the bigger picture, because Nifty, again, a phenomenal year for us. And remember, last time also, the first 3 months of calendar 23 were difficult. The markets were correcting. There were a lot of overhang for the market, and only after March we were able to scale that tremendous rally that we saw play out in the last in the last 8 or 9 months. But can Nifty repeat the feat? That's the big question that we need to answer. And for that, let's also bring on board Santosh Meena, Head of Research at Swastika Investmart. Thank you for joining us here on News 9, Santosh. Always a pleasure speaking with you. A great start to the trading session. Nifty is back above the 20-day moving average, and this is for the first time since March 13th. 22,200 has also been conquered. And I remember, again, it was only after March that this tremendous rally that we saw in FY24 began. Do you think we can repeat the feat this time around? And more importantly, let's talk about near-term levels, because 22,200 was a critical hurdle for the index. That has been conquered. We are just about 1.5% shy from record high. Can we get there, by next Thursday maybe?
Yeah, first of all, good morning and good morning, everyone. So if we talk about the market, especially for the Mars series, so entire series was for the option writers. It started around 20,050 level, and till yesterday it was hovering around 20,000 mark. But today we are seeing a trending move, just because FIs are covering their short positions. Throughout the series, they were net seller around 32, in the range of 60 to 70%. They have net short position in index future. Today either they have to roll over their position, or they need to short cover their short. So today we are seeing a short covering move. Once Nifty has crossed the 22,200 resistance level, we are seeing a massive short covering move in last 15 to 20 minutes. And 22,300 is the target. If Nifty sustains about 22,300 in today's session, we can see even higher level in today's session as well. But yes, we can expect a trending move in the April series. Historically, first 3 months of calendar year remains sideways or volatile, and especially March remains volatile, especially because of the advanced tax number and some tax harvesting adjustments. So after that, we see a trending move, and in coming days we have important events, like we are heading towards election, and there is expectation in the June month, when we will have our outcome of election results. At the same time, Fed will start its rate cut cycle, and there is a probability that India's bond market will include in global bond index. So there will be multiple tailwinds in coming days, and we will have a corporate earnings. So yes, outlook is bullish. After 3 months of volatility and consolidation, we can expect an expansion phase, and there is a good chance that Nifty can hit 23,000 marks in this series.
All right, Nifty can potentially hit the 23,000 mark in this April series. And again, as you rightly pointed out, the first 3 months of calendar year have been volatile for the markets, and not just for Nifty, Santosh, but Nifty Bank was also, very choppy first 3 months. I mean, if you look at the entire year, it's been a difficult year for Nifty Bank, but as of this morning, we have conquered 47,000 levels again, and this is after a gap of 9 sessions. I mean, 47 has been elusive for Nifty Bank, over the course of the last couple of months, if you look at it. And this up move that we are seeing today is also being powered by your large private banks. Also, overall the setup is looking, I think, rather bullish. Do you expect that this up move towards 47, actually above 47,000, could that lead to some bit of short covering in Nifty Bank?
Yes, correctly pointed out. Bank Nifty was laggard, but yes, for last many days it was trying to create a base around 46,000 mark, but 47,000 was acting as strong resistance, which is 20-day moving average. Now it has crossed 47,000 mark, so we can expect a short covering move. And there is unfinished business of testing new all-time high. So probably Bank Nifty can lead from here in the March. On immediate basis, 48,000 looks an immediate target, and once it will sustain above 48,000 mark, I'm expecting a level of 48,800, 49,000 in the April series. So outlook is bullish. Risk reward is favorable in Bank Nifty because it didn't participate in previous rally. If FIs will come, if there will be buying of FIs, then I think Bank Nifty can outperform from here.
All right, view is bullish on Nifty Bank as well. Maybe we can get to all-time high levels in the April series itself. And I think, Santosh, the bigger question is Nifty, although it has done fairly well this week, it has been lacking leadership. And you pointed out that Nifty Bank, which is a big constituent for, I think that it has about 30-35% weightage on Nifty, that could probably, drive the markets higher from here on. Let's just slip into a short break. Please stay with us as we have lots to talk about with you after the break.
Currently, the industry is facing a lot of challenges as far as demand is concerned. Basically, the US markets has slowed down because of high inflation.
So obviously, diamonds being a dream product, something which doesn't have a utility value or is seen as a luxury. So that obviously goes off your shopping list. That's the first item that will go off your shopping list, especially in recessionary trends.
That lab-grown diamonds are not mined, and they do away with the entire mining. So they save up on all the environmental damage that is associated with mining, and of course, the mining cost, which is why they're even more affordable.
People that is impacted by all these recessions are the artisans, are the people who work in this industry, right? But I think lab-grown diamond has allowed them to actually use their skills in the same product.
This and more streaming on world's first news OTT, News 9+. Download now.
A defiant performance by Ten Hag's men. Now standing at 7 feet 4 inches, Satnam Singh is making his way into professional wrestling.
We are getting more good news for India.
जानना है तो देखिए, समझना है तो सुनिए, सीखना है तो पूछिए, और कमाना है तो खरीदिए। जानकारी, सलाह और निवेश सब एक ही सुपर ऐप पर। पैसे का सवाल है तो जवाब है मनी 9। आजादी पैसे की, अभी डाउनलोड करें।
The football is mother of all games.
It is a team sport.
The leadership attitude is taking the ownership.
It's always a big responsibility to take decisions and the right decisions.
I always question the stereotypical.
And that's why you are in that position.
This and more
Streaming on News 9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
For the very first time in our investigation, we unmasked the killer of Ravindra Matre.
In 5G, we have to stand with the world, and in 6G, we have to lead the world.
Winning a Grammy was an absolutely surreal experience.
Welcome back. You're watching First Stick here on News 9, and the markets, they are doing phenomenally well this morning. Remember, it's the last trading session of financial year 2024, and Nifty has not only broken above that range which it had found itself in the last 2-3 weeks, but it's also moving higher from there on. And as we speak, we have conquered the 22,300 levels. We are just about 220 points or thereabouts shy of the record high. Just that's about a percent from current levels. Sensex has also claimed the 73,000 mark. In fact, it has moved above 73,500 in the morning trade itself. And while the broader markets, they are underperforming the headliners, the recovery continues over there. Remember, both mid-cap and the small-cap indices have retraced about 61.8% levels. Those are Fibonacci retracement levels of what was lost in that 2-week correction that we saw in the beginning of March. Mid-cap index is up about 0.15% as we speak. It's just about 90 points shy of the 48,000 levels. And the small-cap index is also powering on. It's just about 51 points shy of the 15,300 and 400 levels. India VIX has picked up slightly. I mean, it's almost flat this morning, but we are in a very comfortable zone of about 12.7 odd levels. Remember, we had seen volatility, India VIX at around 1450 levels for the longest of time in in calendar 2024. So good to see volatility coming down at a time when markets are moving higher. But Santosh, coming back to you, we were talking about how Nifty had been lacking leadership, but one stock has emerged as a leader, and that is Reliance Industries. I mean, it has had a great start to 2024. It's up about 16% year to date, but this morning it's back above 3,000 levels, and yesterday it was the leader. I mean, after Goldman Sachs updated the target price on the stock with a 54% potential upside from current levels. Now 44,495 is where Goldman Sachs sees Reliance at. Where do you see, Santosh? Can Reliance take out those levels, or I mean take a move, 5-10% move from here on, because 3,000 was a critical psychological level for the stock?
Yes, first standard disclosure. In today's morning, we have recommended our clients top pick for FY25 is Reliance Industry, and we have given a target of around 5,000 level. And personally, I am holding some position in Reliance as well. So I am very bullish on the Reliance, both technically and fundamentally. There is a structural story. I believe Reliance can take leadership this year and can lead Nifty higher. So the structure is very bullish. On near term, yes, in today's trading session, 3,000 to 3,025 is a resistance zone. I think it will be crossed, and in the month of April, I'm expecting a target of 3,400 kind of level easily. So I think this financial year could be of Reliance, because technically there is a classical breakout of flag formation on quarterly time frame, and on fundamental basis, I think there will be real wealth creation can be seen from Geo business, Geo financial, and especially this Geo media business. I think so. There will be a structural story. So investor can hold this stock in their portfolio for this year.
Good morning, Santosh. I'll drive your attention to another company that has been in the news. Maruti Suzuki has crossed the milestone to become the 19th listed Indian firm to cross the 4 lakh crore market capitalization milestone. Now, but when we look at the stock, it is down slightly today from the previous closing, choppy up and down. In the last 1 year, it has gained about 52%. How do you see the stock performing in the near term? Just this much, or is there going to be a rally that will trigger from here, considering that the auto market is also gearing up for a big increase in sales?
Yes, if I talk about top three large cap for FY25, so apart from Reliance and L&T, Maruti is also on my list because after a 3-4 year of consolidation, it is coming out of that consolidation, and we are seeing a strong bullish momentum in the near term. Yen weakness and the expectation of GST rate cuts on hybrid model is acting as a key driver for the counter. And yes, I think the momentum is likely to continue on immediate basis. 13,000 as psychological hurdle, 12,500 to 13,000. But I think there is a potential we can expect a move towards 15,000 mark in the near term. So view is bullish. On the downside, this 12,000, 11,800 area will act as a strong base. So any consolidation or a pullback should be taken as a buying opportunity because the momentum is bullish and this momentum is likely to continue in coming days.
So do you see this breaching the 12,600 mark in the near term? It did not do that last year.
Yes, I am expecting this momentum is likely to continue and we can expect a level of 13,000 in the near term.
Okay, Santosh, another stock that has been in the news because of some international happenings is Coal India Limited. Now, because of the crashing of the Baltimore Bridge in the US, coal imports to India have been affected. India imports almost 7.27 million tons of coal from the US. That is how much it imported in the year 2023. Now, when we look at the Coal India stock, that has not reacted that much, but where do you see this going? Is this going to hamper the stock in the long term? Because the imports are going to be affected for at least 6 weeks. So is it a time to hold or is it a time to buy? You are expecting the stock to basically go down in the red in the near term, immediate term.
Okay, if we talk about the Coal India, so it was a star performer of FY24, but for timing it is in a consolidation phase, showing some kind of correction. So I think this correction may continue for some more time, but once it will tackle out 450 resistance area, we can expect a fresh expansion phase towards 500, 550 kind of zone. So on immediate basis, 440, 550 is a resistance zone. If it fails to cross this level, we can expect more pullbacks toward 400 level. If it comes near 400 level, that will be a good buying opportunity because I don't see this stock to fall below 400 kind of level. And we have seen many upgrades in recent time from many brokerage houses. So the outlook is bullish. This correction or consolidation should be taken as a buying opportunity. It may see some more consolidation, but after this period of consolidation, we can see fresh expansion phase in coming days.
So your outlook is bullish on Coal India despite the Baltimore Bridge crash. But Santosh, what are your picks for the investors today?
Yes, as I told you about my topic is Reliance and L&T and Maruti Nifty 50. Apart from that, one of my topic from midcap space, recently listed company Inox India, very strong stock fundamentally and technically as well. After a pullback, it created a strong base around 1000 mark and ready to move higher. So buy for the target of 1400. Stop loss should be 1140. Another is Havels. We have seen a strong momentum in recent days, but after a healthy recent correction, it is taking support around 1400. Now I'm expecting a target of 1600 in coming days, where stop loss should be 1440. Another company, JSW Infra. I'm bullish on infrastructure space. JSW Infra is also showing momentum, where 275 your target, 235 should be a stop loss. As I told you, L&T is coming out of a bullish capital formation breakout. So 3900 is an immediate target. 3600 should be a stop loss. And from IT space, one of the counter which is showing strong strength is L&T Technology Services. There is a breakout of bullish flag formation. I'm expecting 6000 level in the near term. 5300 should be a stop loss.
All right, those are the top trading ideas for the short term from Santosh Meena of Swastika InvestSmart. Sir, thank you for giving us time here on News 9. We'll see you in FY25.
Thank you, my pleasure.
But let's look at how the markets are doing, because Nifty has actually, we spoke about Nifty moving above 22,300 and it's holding on to those levels. We are very close to the day's high. And the markets overall, remember we had been talking about markets being range bound. After that initial first 2 weeks of correction, Nifty had pretty much traded in that 450 point range between the 50-day moving average and the 20-day moving average. We have, in fact, 20-day moving average, by the way, was the resistance level, and we took that out for the market, in today's morning trade itself, and from there on we have gained about 120, 130 points. The idea pretty much was that, once this level, at least if there is a break on either side, market could find a trending move. Even Santosh just said that, and 22,300 is what he said. If Nifty is able to close above 22,300 in today's session, probably we'll get to the record high levels, which is just now about 200 points shy currently. Probably in the next couple of weeks, and 23,000 also will be on cards probably for the April series as well. But let's look at the broader markets also, because they have been able to stage a tremendous recovery. Pretty much we were witnessing a meltdown in the first couple of weeks of March, and this was after regulators stepping in and flagging concerns about froth building up in this space. And look at the rally that the broader markets have been on. 63% returns for the mid cap index, 75% return for the small cap index. So a 5 to 10% correction shouldn't shake that conviction that you have in some of these stocks from the broader markets, because that's part of the course, right? You don't want the markets to move in a linear line, because that could probably spell trouble for you. You want the prices to fluctuate up and down, so there is some bit of reasoning for that up move as well. So we are seeing that recovery play out in the mid cap and the small cap indices. Both of them are pretty much on a 4-5 day winning streak now. The mid cap index as we speak is up 0.14%. It's closing in on the 48,000 mark. It has not seen 48,000 since the beginning of March. But we are just about 100 points shy from those levels. The small cap index is also moving higher. That remains one of the stronger segments of the market in this period of recovery that we have seen since midweek last week. It's up 0.63% this morning as well, and sitting above the 15,350 mark. Let's also talk about some of the sectors out there, because Nifty Bank, of course we have been talking about it extensively on this show. Nifty Bank had been struggling with 47,000. That was a 50 DMA for 20 DMA actually for the Nifty banking index, and we have finally been able to take out 47,000 in the morning trade, and the overall the market is taking the banking stocks higher. We are about we have left 47,000 by about 150 points currently. So Nifty Bank is seeing a tremendous bit of buying action this morning. But one sector that remains a pain point, I mean it's seeing some bit of a correction, is Nifty Realty. And we have been talking about how FY24 was great year for the broader markets, the mid cap and the small cap space, and some of the sectors and some of the themes that actually took off. There was a structural recovery of sorts, and one of them was your real estate stocks. Look at how Nifty Realty has done over the course of the year. It's up 140%, and in line with some of in line with the correction that we were seeing in the first half of March. We were seeing a bit of a shakeout in some of these high momentum driven sectors and themes, but Nifty Realty has also pretty much recovered what was lost. Most stocks are recovering, and Amit, there's a stark contrast between the housing market in India and elsewhere. I mean, the housing market, a report came out yesterday which shows that the sales are going up double digits in India, whereas elsewhere in US, in China, housing market is frozen.
In China specifically, realty is one of the economy drivers, and that is in a bad shape, and we have been reporting that over time. In the US, because of the rise in the Fed rates in the last year, and no cuts happening as yet, it has been in a sort of a stress over there.
But that's an anomaly because interest rates are high in India as well, right?
Yeah. But that is an anomaly. But probably because the optimism in India with the way the economy has been growing, beating estimates, beating analyst projections. So probably that's the anomaly. Interest rates are high as well in India. US probably a little bit more because they had a bigger problem to deal with. But if you see the reality stocks, whether it is Prestige, whether it is DLF, whether it is Godrej, in the last 1 year, they gave returns of over 100%. Over 100%. The other ones also were close by. There was a correction in the last 1 month, but after this report that you mentioned from Anarock, there is a big surge in the top 7 cities, almost 14% rise in housing transactions between January and March, 10.3% increase in the prices of housing properties in these 7 cities. Leading the pack is Hyderabad, 38% spike in the housing sales, followed by Pune 15% and Bengaluru 14%. So it is good times for the realty sector. Favorable interest rate from the RBI in the times to come, and a favorable election result as far as at least the market is concerned. Probably this is one sector which probably will continue to rally as
Actually,
it has done in the last 1 year.
There, because interest rates are high, and at a time when these sectors, realty, auto being another, they are rate sensitive sectors. Yes. So during the time when the interest rates are high, we see some bit of sluggishness in these sectors, but that has not been the case for realty stocks. As you pointed out, sales are going up, they are growing in double digits, and the prices, they are rising up as much as 30%. But we are looking at the top 7 top 7 cities in India. Let's talk about the tier 2, tier 3 cities, because I think that is where
there has been some cities have had a correction also. Right. Noida to name one, Kolkata to name another. So yeah, but top 7 cities, the surge is there.
But we live in Noida. We know what the housing market was looking like just about 3-4 years ago. I read this report from one of the international media houses which declared Noida as a ghost town of India, because clearly there was a lot of supply but demand was not picking up. And being a house owner here, I pretty much get call on a daily basis, inquiring about if and whether I want to sell my house. And the property prices, they have surged tremendously over the course. And let's talk about the global markets as well, because clearly in US, by the way, we were talking about that, the mortgage prices, they had reached 8% levels, and this was the highest levels in over 2 decades. We had not seen 8% mortgage rates in US since early 2000s. So that is perhaps one of the reasons why buyers are a little bit jittery out there. But also, I mean, if you look at the repeat sales, if you look at the overall confidence, and if you look at the new projects coming up, we are also seeing that the supply is just not there. So demand is also lacking and supply is also not lacking. So there is clearly a skew there, but prices have pretty much held on so far. That's also a bit of an anomaly as far as the US markets are concerned. But clearly in India, there is a story out there for the housing sector, and it's a structural story. And with rates expected to come down, I think maybe this sector could remain in focus, for the next couple of years.
Yeah. So this is one sector that is like, we spoke about FMCG. FMCG was struggling in the last 1 year, but now it is on an upswing. So the worst is over. Not with this sector. This sector has been on the upswing all of 2024, financial year 2024. And there is still steam left in it seems.
All right. And let's look at, some of the returns that you had put out there for realty stocks. I mean, a lot of them have turned multi-baggers in the course of the year. If you can pull up that graphic. DLF 150%, Godrej Properties 124%, Oberoi Realty, I was looking at Oberoi Realty stocks, they had a bad quarter last in Q3, but the stock has recovered very well. It's up about 11% in the last 5 days. Over the course of the year, it has given returns of about 85%. Phoenix Mill is another one which was a multi-bagger. Prestige Estates, 3x returns in Prestige Estates over there. So a lot of these stocks, especially stocks that are focused in the housing sector, they are doing phenomenally well. And with rates expected to come down, probably, later this year, that could, provide another fillip to this industry and to this sector as well. So keep an eye out on Nifty Realty. But before we wrap things up, let's just quickly look at how the markets are doing, because remember, today is the final trading session of financial year 2024, and the markets, of course, have had a phenomenal year. We are pretty much, very close to that record high levels on Nifty, on the headliners. Nifty currently is up 0.85%. It is holding above the 22,300 mark. 22,526 is the record high level. We are just about 220 points shy of it currently. Sensex is also up almost 0.9%, and it's also moving towards that 74,000 levels. The mid cap and the small cap space recovery continues. The mid cap space, I think there is some bit of a stability setting in the mid cap space, and it's a smaller space. There are only 150 stocks in the mid cap universe, and they are well owned by the by the mutual fund houses. So even in this drawdown that we saw, the recovery first took place in the mid cap space, and the broader, your larger small cap universe has also shown signs of recovery. The small cap index as we speak is up 0.5% this morning, and it's currently sitting at 15,337 mark. But on that note, that's all we have in this edition of Last Tick. Thank you for watching. Up next, World Business Report.
Start with the end in mind. You need to know where you want to reach. Every morning that we wake up, we are exercising our choice. The destiny is decided. The results are known that I'm going to win. Life of a goalkeeper is something which has always intrigued me.
When you come into a stadium, this is the highest level of pressure.
When I set out to do something, I decide in my mind that failure is not an option.
What you feel very strongly about, those are the stories to tell.
I have a mind which is absolutely restless.
Mind and body are entangled sensations.
That brings me back to golf. It's an amazing game.
This is not a perfect game. You only learn from them.
If you have a formula to a success, then you can replicate it.
I feel this is my first step. I'm starting now.
The winner is first born in the mind. I think, therefore I am. We are all about our mind.
This and more. Streaming on News 9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.